Yeah, let's get this started. Cool. Welcome, Merel. Thank you so much for coming on to this podcast. Since we are meeting you now for the first time, maybe it'd be a good idea for you to introduce yourself a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for having me. So my name is Merel Roosboom. I'm from The Hague originally. It's a bit more south in the Netherlands. And I study psychology here at UvA since 2018, so for 3 years now. I think I'm 21 years old, and I really love Amsterdam. It's my favorite city in the world. And together with Elin, I started All Ears a few months ago.
Awesome. So how did you guys get to know each other?
Well, that's a funny story actually. Elin and I never really were introduced to each other or something, but we just saw each other around a lot because we are both always at all lectures, and we would sit all the way in the back of the lecture hall. And then this one time, a friend of ours went to McDonald's, and we just went with her, and then we were friends. So
that's awesome. I guess McDonald's does connect you in some
way. Yeah, and also lectures.
Yeah. That's really cool. So tell us a little bit about All Ears Amsterdam. What is that?
So around January last year, Elin and I were both doing a board year for the study association. And the lockdown was at that moment pretty bad, and I was the chair, and I was having a talk with Elin, and we were trying to find something for her to get excited again and to have a goal to work for during the year. And then she mentioned an idea that she had mentioned before, and that's that she saw a lot of psychology students around her that are very talented and have learned a lot of skills already about communication skills, and we're good listeners and good at giving little summaries and feedback about emotions. So she saw that talent, and she also, like we all know, that there are people out there that don't feel well, and especially during COVID, don't cope very well with the loneliness and the gloominess of it all. So that was kind of a combination that we saw, or especially Elin saw, a chance in. And when she told me a bit more about this idea, and we had this time and the opportunity, we were like, okay, we want this to get started and to actually start this project. So that's how it started, and I could just go on over this timeline.
Yeah.
Then
So this was at the beginning of the COVID times?
No. It was last year around January. So then,
okay.
I mean, it started at March, of course. So that was already almost a year.
Last year is in school year, so like 2021?
Oh, yeah. I always live by academic years.
I do the same.
So last school year. Yeah.
That's awesome. So from what I understand, you kind of saw this like need to just like really listen to students and to have a space for them to be heard, kind of. Is that the need that you kind of saw, or can you elaborate a bit about that?
So it was also really this knowledge of having psychology students that really want to do things for society, and they want to do practical, they want to practice a lot, and there's not a lot of opportunities, and you can't always play psychologist with your friends. So that is something we knew. And then also, we did, of course, in COVID, it was discussed a lot, and there were these news articles coming out that people were very lonely. But I have to stress immediately that we can't say that we're offering psychological help. We really have to be careful with that. And all the psychology students all they do is listen, and we're just very good at listening and offering a listening ear. So we do know that helps. So that's why we.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just for people that would be going through loneliness or like any types of like mental health issues, just having someone to be able to like listen to them in a way and feel like they're heard could really help prevent a lot of pain that's inflicted upon people.
For sure,
people
exactly.
Feel like they can't really share things with some friends or people around them. Definitely, it could be something that would be really helpful. Did you find that like the university or the people within Amsterdam, did you find services like this that students could go to?
Yeah.
Or were you like the first trailblazers in it?
No, definitely. There's a lot out there already. And when we started, we started with a lot of research, and we reached out to a lot of companies and services that are out there already.
Mm-hmm.
And at the moment we were also like, do we even have to do this? Because there's already a lot, but people just don't know where to go.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's still one of the biggest problems. Also that there's not enough, but both. But then what we really think is the most amazing thing about All Ears is that it's super community oriented. So it's really about the university, and when you call, you get a student just like you who has been to the same campus, or and really knows what you are going through, and therefore I think people will feel very heard and understood, and that's why we still thought, okay, we want to do this. So trailblazers, maybe not, but we did see an opportunity to do something special in this community. So that's why.
Yeah, absolutely. I still kind of see you as like, at least within the University of Amsterdam's community, as kind of like trailblazers for bringing up these mental health issues and for being a spot for students by students, kind of. And I feel like just with that, I'm not so sure, but people could feel some sort of like intimidation going into a psychologist, or not even just intimidation, just maybe other feelings that push them from going to an actual psychologist. Maybe just all they need is someone to talk to normally, and a student could be great for that.
Exactly, because in my normal life, right now, sometimes I had a day and I want to share it with someone, and every now and then I think, I don't want to call that friend, I don't want to call that friend, I just want someone to listen who's totally blank on my life other than that. So I've had the urge to call All Ears every now and then. And yeah, I think for everybody who's functioning fine or not really functioning that fine, just having someone who listens, who doesn't know you, is really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then, so let's talk a little bit about the people who are actually answering the calls. So you said those are students that are in the psychology department at the UvA. Yeah. Right. And so do these students go beyond the UvA, or are they only within the UvA? So like the VU or other universities?
Oh, our volunteers are all from the UVA.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, awesome. And do you ever see that expanding to being beyond the UVA? Or is that really...
I don't think in the very near future, because also our goal, the people that we're trying to reach, are all UVA. So right now it's really about that community thing. So not in the near future, but I mean, if we dream big, of course, one day maybe we can have real life students sitting in actual rooms, and maybe something for all people in Amsterdam. Like it could be bigger than this, but now it's really about the UVA.
Awesome. And so you mentioned that they are volunteers, so I imagine they don't get paid at all?
No, they don't.
Cool. And so is there like a recruitment round that you do in the beginning of the year, or how does your recruitment really happen?
When we started, we were still on the board, so we really used that platform to reach psychology students. And then a lot of people reached out, because a lot of psychology students want to practice, like I mentioned before, and we had a few criteria that people had to meet. So one of them was that they had to have followed a particular course. So that's kind of a criteria that we use. A particular course within the psychology program. And is there, what do you mean by particular course? It's psychology. It's psychological communication. Okay. Because you just learn little skills there that are very helpful when you start calling. But again, they still aren't licensed to actually offer psychological help. Yeah. But it helps. You, for example, learn there that it's really okay to have silences, that you shouldn't be scared of that, and you practice with that already. And I think that's one of the most useful skills in a call line like this, that you don't have to be scared. Maybe it's going to be like silent for half a minute, and then someone starts talking again. So that skills like that really help. So that was one of the criteria. And then we also talked to everyone. A very small chat, because there were a lot of applicants. So just to feel if the vibe was okay, and if it was someone who was a bit grounded and excited about the project and had the right motivation. So not just CV, but also because they want to do something for the university and for society.
Like actually help in a way.
Yeah, exactly. We're looking for people like that, and those conversations were so much fun because everybody was super excited and glad that there was something like this, and they really wanted to contribute to that. We're super happy with the team we have now. They're all very committed.
That's awesome. So did you do any like internal training other than these, other than the course, and were there requirements for applicants?
So for the applicants, it was that one course, and that was it. It's a long time ago. And then we had a training, and it's based on a module by the Luisterlijn, which is a Dutch service, which is also a call line where they only listen. It's like a listen line, basically. And they have this step-by-step plan that we wrote out, and then we looked at it together with Corine Dijk, who supervises us. She's from the clinical program.
Okay.
And also with Marissa van der Sluis. She also works here at the UVA, and she's a psychologist, and she gives trainings like this. She also gives the psychological communication course, for example. And together with them, we kind of built a training that we did with the volunteers. But usually we don't really, for example, this is not very elaborately written on the website, because even though they receive this training and the course, all we do is listen. Like they don't, in those courses, they don't learn diagnostics or anything in that direction. We stay far away from that. But you do learn skills like summarizing, giving motivational, doing motivational interviewing, giving compliments. Very nice skills like that. So that's what we do.
That's awesome. So let's move away from the sort of people receiving the calls to the people who are actually giving the calls. What types of issues could people call for?
Anything, really. There's no right or wrong. Like really small stuff, because you're bored, or because you don't know what to eat, or because your friend is wearing your shirt even though you didn't lend it to her, like little stuff like that. Stuff that you wouldn't even want to mention to your friends maybe, but just you need someone to go to. Yeah. But also a bit bigger, maybe you have a fight with your roommate, or you're overwhelmed by your schedule. Those are the kind of things that you oftentimes call good friends for, but maybe someone doesn't have good friends, or maybe you are done with your good friends, or you need someone who's blank. I always feel that way, that it would be nice to have someone who doesn't know you at all. Just
like no judgment, no nothing. It's just straight talk about whatever.
Exactly. Because then there are no inferences about what may be actually going on or something. So anything really. And it might be that people call with something that's a bit too serious. For example, if you are very anxious, or something like that. But then we just refer people to their, like, we still listen to you, because we're not going to hang up the phone like, this is too serious, bye. We would never do that. But we do then say that it's good to go to your general practitioner. But we still listen to you. You know, you can always, in Dutch we say, je hart luchten. It's like air your heart. So just put everything on the table. That's always fine. So anything, really. That's awesome.
And so would you say that, like, so when you recommend people to go to the GP, is it so that way the GP can then send them to a psychologist or to someone who can properly deal with their situation?
We don't know what the general practitioner will say, but whenever we're in doubt about whether something's too serious, that's what we do.
That's awesome.
Because though, like, in the system that we have now, those are the people that are allowed to diagnose and to send you to a psychologist. Yeah,
of course. And you wouldn't want to end up with any sort of like any responsibility for what anyone would be doing when what you're offering is just someone to talk to.
Exactly.
So when people give a call, do they have to pay for anything?
No, they don't.
So it's completely free call, you just pay for the price of the call.
Yeah, but I do think if it's international, that people might have to pay, because it's a Dutch number.
But that is like a price of a phone call. It's not any additional price from you guys.
No.
Okay, awesome. So other than the issues that you guys handle and how these people are trained and things like that, when I call, or like let's say I pick up the phone and call All Ears Amsterdam right now, is my will I remain anonymous within it, or do I have to give my name or student number, things like that?
No, nothing like that. That's also we don't check if you're actually a UVA student. We're not going to ask what's your student number or what's your name. So whoever calls can just start talking.
That's really awesome. And is the person who answers the call, are they anonymous as well?
They can choose.
Okay.
Yeah. But I also work almost every week, and I choose to use a different name.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just because, I think because when people know about All Ears, they have seen my face maybe before.
Yeah, so the association, you want to avoid that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to be a very blank conversation where it's just two people and it's all anonymous. But I know that some volunteers use their own name because they're fine with that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. And then, so about these volunteers, again, coming back to it, what's like the demographics of these sort of volunteers? Are they all third-year students, second-year students? Are they all Dutch or internationals? Where do they come from? What do they do?
So most of them are third years now, some fourth and some second, but most are third. Mm-hmm. So the course that they all have to follow is in your second year. So there are no first years in there.
Okay.
Yeah. There are a few people that were in their third year when they applied, because we also started last year around May. So they are now in their fourth. So for example, have someone who is doing the clinical master, but we also have people who are doing, who have just started on their clinical specialization. So it's really all around. But then also, for example, me, I'm doing social psychology. So there's all these different kind of, people go all directions in psychology, but most do clinical because they have passion for helping people.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of internationals. Like we have a team from all over the world. In our application process, we also ask if people speak different languages, and I wouldn't even know how many different languages we have because there's so many out there in our team. So that's really nice. Of course, it has to be a coincidence that someone calls who wants to speak in Hindi and we have somebody who speaks Hindi, but it would be amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, it's super international. I think we're with 37 volunteers right now, and I think about 3/4 will be international.
Wow, that's really awesome. I mean, I think it's really important to have, I think in terms of relatability for a student life, being a local or being European would be kind of different from being an international student.
Yeah.
And maybe those differences, someone who, let's say an international student calls or a Dutch student calls and it's an international student receiving them, they might not be able to relate completely to what they're saying or completely understand. So I think it's really awesome that you have such a wide demographic and things like that. But so getting back into, so as I was like researching for this podcast, I was on your website, allearsamsterdam.com, right?
Yeah, correct.
So I was on your website and I realized you have a spot for feedback.
Yeah.
And I found that to be really, really cool. I mean, I think feedback is something that's really important for any growth in anywhere. So I just wanted to hear about what is some feedback you've received, or why did you want to have that feedback spot? Why do you think it's important?
Okay, nice question. So that's actually brand new. We just uploaded that, so we don't have, I haven't seen any feedback yet. We haven't watched or looked at what we have received yet. But we had an intervision a few weeks back. I think it's almost a month ago now. So there was a moment when we came together with the whole team. Not everybody could join, but a big part was there. And also Corine Dijk, so from the UVA, who coordinates us. And we discussed what was going well, what could be done better. We had a talk about a few cases, so people told a little bit in a very anonymous way, but just, for example, I had someone who couldn't stop crying and I didn't know what to do. And then in little groups, people talked about tips, what can you do? So then there was also someone who said, I'm hang up the phone and then someone is gone. And I would want to know how they experienced that call. And we talked about maybe then asking already on the phone, okay, would you now please fill in this feedback form? And that felt a bit not that nice, someone just
not
called.
very natural kind of.
No, exactly. It feels like you're a commercial or something.
Yeah, like a bot. You're talking to a bot.
Exactly. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then someone said maybe you can just put it on the website and do it on your Instagram. So then we implemented that. Yeah. So it actually came from the team, which is nice.
That's really, really awesome. I mean, I think again coming back to it, I think feedback is really, really important, and I feel like many student associations and student-led initiatives are missing that kind of feedback or direct sort of talk with the people they're trying to serve. And having a spot on your website like that for people to come and tell you, hey, I think maybe during the call I felt like this was not as good, maybe this could be better. I think that could be helpful to both sides. You would be being more helpful to your community.
Exactly.
And your community is actually helping you grow and become better.
Thank you.
Yes, it's really awesome. So, what are some challenges that you faced when starting Alt Ears?
Well, I think Elin already had the idea very much earlier in the year, but then we were just starting a board year and we really wanted to go travel and party, and then COVID came. So that actually COVID, in a weird way, was an opportunity for us. And then with the idea, we reached out to the UVA and we got in touch with the dean, so Agneta Fischer, and she was super excited and she really has guided us in so many ways. So the UVA was on board immediately, which was great. And she also made sure that there was funding and stuff, so that was really cool. And that's really how the ball started rolling. But then, okay, so there are two people who want this. UVA wants it, but then you actually have to get started, and you really don't know where to start. For example, does everybody do it from their own phone, or are people going to be at home, or do we do it at campus? So in the beginning, one of the biggest challenges was thinking about how you would shape this. What would it actually in reality look like? So for that, we reached out to all these other services. There's, for example, an All Ears Groningen as well, so all the way in the north of the Netherlands, but they do it in a very different way, and it's with more professionals and not student to student. But we got some inspiration from them. And then Frisse Gedachtes, which is also kind of the same service, but then for everyone, not just UVA students. We got in touch with all those people and they inspired us and they helped us and they had big tips. And then we were introduced to ERCO, which is the program that we use now, which is also very nice. That like a professional told us about that. But all that took a long time because you don't know where to start. And I think that was the biggest challenge. Also to just keep going and keep having Zoom meetings and talking and having ideas and brainstorm sessions. And still believing in the fact that in the end we would be able to make something like this, which I have to give Elin a lot of credit for because she is like amazing in staying motivated and she's super passionate, so that she really pulled the wagon there. It was really great. That
sounds really awesome. I mean, too bad she couldn't join us today, but hopefully we'll get to see her around. So it's really cool. So mostly your challenges were around kind of like the logistics of the whole thing. So like figuring out not who, but how will people get to that communication?
Well, I think that, and then also the thing that I've been mentioning like this whole talk is that what we actually want to do is be a psychologist for others, like to offer a psychologist service. That would be amazing. But we're not able to do that because we're students. So together with the logistics and what does it look like, the whole big question, there was also the question of, are we allowed to do this and how do we do this in an ethical way? So we had to talk about that with the clinical program extensively, for example, because it's a very responsible area. Like you have to be registered and everything if you really go to psychology side. So that was also a big challenge, I think.
Yeah, but I think it's really important for you to have really taken that into consideration to like make sure to not just start something and then see what it does and then figure it out,
Yeah.
but really start something off on a good roll, making sure that you've sort of checked yourself in a way where you can't be put responsible for anything, but also you can affect or you can help out as many people as you could.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's really awesome. So sort of like to wrap up our conversation for today, what are some of the next moves for All Ears?
Well, right now we're super busy with promotion because our volunteers are ready. You know, they're at their phones. But we still want more people to know about this because we feel like it's still a little bit on the down low and really want to get the word spread. So that's really what we're busy with right now, and we hope that the next step is that everybody who is at the UVA knows that if they have they're in need for someone to listen to them, they know they can call All Ears. That sentence went a bit rumbly. But yeah, that's I think the next step.
That's awesome. I mean, at least now on the Student Catch episode, if you guys are listening, of course, go check out their website. There is the phone number on there. I think you also have an Instagram page, right?
Yeah.
All Ears Amsterdam.
Yeah.
On there's also the phone number. So if you need any help, if you just want to talk to someone, get something off your chest, check out their number, check out their Instagram page and their website. So awesome. So is there any other way people can learn more about you?
I think the website and the Instagram is a great start. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And they can feel free to email us if they have a question or something, of course. Or DM, that's also fine.
Yeah, that's really cool. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone that was listening. This of course would not have been possible without the help from the great team of Medium at Medium Magazine. Make sure to of course follow us on Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube so you can keep up with our new episodes weekly. And of course, if you need someone to talk to, if you just need help with something, or just of course want to get something off your chest, reach out to All Ears Amsterdam. They're here to listen and they're here to help out. Thank you everyone and have a great day.